Hey guys, welcome back to Cruise Blog. This is Allie, and today we're going to be talking about 17 mistakes you shouldn't make on a cruise ship sea day. Let's get into it. When planning your cruise vacation, the itinerary is one of the most important considerations. And while the destinations themselves are important, so is the number of sea days that you'll have on your cruise, and you want to be able to enjoy everything that the ship has to offer. Sea days are great for relaxation, staying busy, or a combination of both. Unlike port days, you'll not have any scheduled tours that will keep you preoccupied for a chunk of the day. Instead, you can plan the day around your interests and preferences, and maybe that means not having to plan at all. That being said, in order to make the most of your time on a cruise, here are 17 mistakes you shouldn't make on a cruise ship sea day. First, sleeping in too late. There's nothing wrong with night owls who prefer to sleep in. However, there are some big drawbacks to starting your day later on a cruise, with the first being a larger crowd at the buffet for breakfast, or if you're like me, sleeping too late and missing breakfast entirely. It is common for a surge of passengers to visit the ship's buffet during the latter half of the breakfast service, so the earlier you go, the more peaceful you will find it. Plus, some cruise lines, like Carnival Cruise Line, offer sea day exclusive brunches. These can be pretty popular, and you might be subject to a wait if you show up too late. Next is forgetting to take seasickness medication. While cruise ship captains will do everything in their power to avoid choppy waters, some people are a little bit more prone to motion sickness than others. As a preventative measure, you should take your seasickness medication because you do not want to waste any of your precious vacation time feeling sick. Next, not checking the daily schedule. Whether it's the night before or the morning of, you should take a look at the cruise ship's daily schedule, which will either be delivered to your stateroom at night and or available 24/7 on the ship's mobile app. You never know what activities will interest you in your travel party, so take a look. And our next tip, not missing out on any of the fun activities. If you don't look at the daily planner, you will have no idea what's going on around the ship. And since there's so much happening, the crew members are unable to make public announcements alerting passengers for every event that's going on. So you don't want to miss bingo, trivia, sports competitions, live music, and more. Next, going to the spa. If ultimate relaxation is your goal, then you will benefit from a trip to the spa on board where you can be pampered with massage, facials, and more. If, however, you want to visit the spa and save some money, you'll want to consider going on a port day, as cruise lines usually discount those treatments when the ship is docked as an incentive to get guests to stay on board. So head to the spa on embarkation day to see if they have any ongoing promotions. If not, it does not hurt to check back throughout the cruise. Next is expecting to find a pool chair in a prime location in the middle of the afternoon. With live music, entertaining activities, and the incredible ocean views, it's no surprise that the pool deck is one of the most, if not the most popular place to be on a beautiful sea day. And for that reason, it is many people's first stop in the morning. They will leave their belongings on a chair, even if they do not intend to return until later in the afternoon. As the day goes on, more and more people will begin to flood to the Lido deck, making it even more difficult to find a great place to call home for the day. And while you should not hog any chairs by all means, if you want to enjoy the pool deck before it gets too crowded, your best chance is at the morning to snag a chair. And that goes into our next tip. Do not be a chair hog. Hogging chairs on the pool deck is considered poor cruise ship etiquette. Today, many cruise lines have begun implementing policies to prevent this from occurring. If, for instance, you break for lunch and you do not take your things with you, you may return to find that your stuff has been removed by crew members. Next is waiting until later in the evening to visit the casino. Since you're at sea, the casino will be open for most of the day. You don't have to wait until after dinner to try your luck at some games or the slot machines. Plus, there might be some tournaments or beginner classes that are hosted, which is another reason why you will want to read that daily schedule. If you're not old enough to gamble on land, you might be able to while in international waters. On most cruise lines, the minimum age of gambling is 18, but note that some cruises to Alaska do require you to be 21. Our next tip is spending the entire day in one place. It's your vacation, so you can spend it any way that you like. If, however, you spend the entire day by the pool, you might miss out on other unique experiences on the ship. It's a good idea to find a balance and switch up your scenery so you can take advantage of everything that the cruise ship has to offer. Next is do not eat in a specialty restaurant for dinner. Depending on what cruise line you are sailing with, you might be able to eat at a specialty restaurant for lunch for less than it would cost you to eat there for dinner. For example, on my last cruise on board Symphony of the Seas, I ate at Jamie's Italian for around $25, and that's half of what Royal Caribbean charges for dinner, and the menu is essentially the same. Since you're on the ship all day anyways, you have the flexibility to choose when you would like to eat lunch. You will not be off exploring ports of call in which your only option would be for dinner. Next is not utilizing this time to book your excursions if you have yet to do so. Even though you should research your ports of call in advance, time might slip away from you. Before you know it, your cruise is right around the corner and you might be worried about packing and other logistics. So don't worry, you'll be able to book your excursions once on board, but you will, however, want to do it as soon as possible. If you forget on embarkation date, the best time to get this done is the first sea day. You do not want to be scrambling the night before each port to figure out what you're going to be doing. Up next is do not forget to make reservations for onboard activities. While not all onboard activities require reservations, some do. If, for instance, you're sailing a Royal Caribbean ship with a flow rider, you can pay for a semi-private or private lesson, and slots on sea days are likely going to get booked up pretty quickly. Most activities that require reservations will be those that incur an additional fee and are those that are booked by a time slot. Next, if the activity does not need reservations, you should arrive as soon as it opens. If the activity you want to do doesn't take reservations, you should try and get there as soon as it opens on a sea day. Otherwise, you may find yourself spending the day waiting in a line, and there are other things that you'll probably be wanting to do than waiting in a line. So, example, for Disney Cruise Line, the line for the Aqueduct can get pretty long in the afternoon. Likewise open, complimentary boogie boarding and or surfing on Royal Caribbean can be subject to lines too. Next is be sure to budget time for family and friends. It's easy for everyone to want to go off and do their own thing on a sea day, but you're all on the ship together for a reason. During the day, let the kids take advantage of the youth programming on board while the parents can get a much-deserved break, or vice versa. Maybe you want to spend the day together and then have time apart in the evening. Regardless, make sure you're spending some time with everybody to make those memories together. Next is do not skip the fitness classes. A great way to wake up and get your body moving before a day of potentially eating and drinking more than usual is with a fitness class. Some classes on board are free while others are offered for a nominal fee, usually anywhere from $12 to $20 per class. Your ship may offer spin classes, Pilates, or even personal training sessions, which are the more costly options. Note too that you will often be required to sign up for the classes in advance. If group classes aren't your thing, don't miss out the opportunity to walk around the ship's outdoor track and get some fresh air. Next, you may be able to pick up a new skill on a sea day. Sitting in a class might not be your idea of a fun vacation activity. However, cruise ships have some really unique options such as sushi making, origami making, napkin and towel folding, cocktail making, cooking, painting, and more. Moreover, more upscale cruise lines will sometimes offer lectures, particularly those sailing to places like Alaska, where you can learn about wildlife from a naturalist or more about the local cuisine. The final tip is not partaking in duty-free shopping. Since shops on board cruise ships are duty-free, meaning that they are tax-free, they are only open in international waters. A sea day is a great time to browse for souvenirs or take a look at the ongoing sales. Pop-up sales are also common during sea days, and you can find some really great deals on watches, jewelry, t-shirts, and cruise line specific merch, alcohol, which has to be consumed after disembarkation, and more. All right, everybody, those are the 17 mistakes that we do not think you should be making on a cruise ship day. Comment below your favorite way to spend a sea day, and be sure to like and subscribe to Cruise Blog so you can be notified every time we have a new video. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody, and have a great day. Until next time, happy cruising.